Andale, what's going on, my good people? This is your Bazawi, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is kind of cold, actually. Today's Thursday, January the 20th of 2022, and the time is 7:15 Central Time. As always, my brothers, I've got a powerful message. We want to do a quick review of Module 1 and Module 2, which is what's the end game, my brother? What's the outcome? What's the fruit? Why am I paying you my hard-earned money? So that way you can learn how to be fruitful and multiply. We've been spending the last 21 plus 21, that equals 42 days, talking about being fruitful and multiplying. Because at the end of the day, I don't care where you are, I don't care who you are, I don't care what you do, I don't care what you drink, smoke. Everything is about one thing, and that is the all-knowing, all-powerful source code is the living substance that has an inherent desire to increase in life. Every living thing must continually seek to enlarge itself, otherwise it will entropy and die. That's BU too, brothers and sisters. So today we're talking about the result of Module 1 and 2, govern, rule, so that way you can be fruitful and multiply. So the end game is to produce fruit and then to multiply that fruit. And so every living thing must do that. Every living thing on this planet, at the end of the day, it must be fruitful and multiply. Now, there is a lot of these new agers, as I said, becoming forth that don't understand the big picture. They think source is just warm and fuzzy and the kumbaya-ism, and let's just all love each other and nobody do shit. We just all just have a big, cluster beep. We just all congregate together and just praise Jesus. Now, that shit is awesome. It's great. You just can't pay your light bill with it. Last I checked. So everything on earth, it evolves. Time itself, even though all time already exists at the same time, all time is still evolving because it's like a record player. Remember the old vinyl record players back in the day? Well, the old vinyls, all of the songs were on the same LP, linear playing. Don't tell you about that, I told you. So when you're listening to, now, from some of my old school folks, y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of my old school people, if you're over the age of 40, you remember probably, hopefully, vinyls. And if you had a vinyl, you had anywhere from, some vinyls was a single, and they operated on a different RPM than a 78. So a single record had one song, but a album had anywhere from 7, 8, 9, 10, sometimes 14 songs. Notice the song that was playing was the song that the needle was pointing. So just like a record player, your past, your present, your future is all playing at the same time. Let me say this again really slowly. Not because that, you can't understand it, because you never heard it. And you probably have never heard it explained this way. So fruitful and multiplying is you go to the future, and your future self comes back into the past, and you talk to the past self. That's what I do. Let me explain. Don't hang up. It's going to curl your toes. It's going to hurt your brain a little bit, but it's going to curl your toes. Because what we're doing is I'm connecting you with your higher self. That's what we call God. And so this ability to connect by communicating through conscious contact. Right now, we're just not conscious because the dominant culture is governing us. We don't govern ourselves. Now, I have to make sure that you understand what I'm saying. See, stay focused on the target. Why? That's the needle. So the needle is your intention. All the songs are playing at the same time. Remember, if you don't believe me, take out an old LP album record. Get that old record player. Notice you pick up the needle, you put it on song 1, song 2. Make sure you don't scratch the record now. Don't scratch the record. Remember that? Because why? Then the record will get dementia and your ass be jumping around in time. People think you're a little cray-cray. They might want to lock your ass up, give you one of them, one of them little nice white jackets. That when you wait, your arms are strapped down to your waist because you're talking about the future, but you're living in the present. Or you may be even talking about the past because what you're doing is you're picking your needle up or the needle is sliding across the LP. And remember, a single, you have to play the single on a different RPM speed than you play an album. So all your lives all exist at the same time. We just don't know how to access different timelines. Now, tonight's message is not necessarily about time, but it's about understanding that you cannot be nobody but yourself. So everything I'm talking about starts there. The moment that you finally say, you know what, I'm short, I'm tall, I'm black, I'm white, I'm red, I'm green, I got big chi-chis, little chi-chis, I got a big badonky-donk, I don't. The moment that you stop fighting and you just say, you know what, source code, it is what it is, man. When I did that, when I said, you know what, man, I'm going to stop trying to be, you know what, I love me. So I'm a short black man from Texas. I don't know shit about phonics. But if you tell me a word once, I remember that shit forever. So I have to hear the word. So yeah, I'm a highly functioning illiterate. So what? I've written 300 books, published 100, pumping them out every day. I did another one today, posted on YouTube, selling them like hotcakes. That's my new business model, by the way. It's like I'm making more money now doing nothing. I got a whole new business model I can't wait to tell you guys about. It's kind of crazy. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. If you go to Spotify, this is like how powerful you are. So anybody been to like I'm trying to think of an example. Can somebody text me, what is your favorite online store? Does anybody go to, you know what, Sister Ellen, I don't remember the name of hers. Sister Ellen has an online vitamin store. I forgot what it was called. But I know that Sister Ellen, I think it was called Ellen's Boutique or something like that. But if you go to, let's say, a online, let's see, vitamin. Yeah, let's do vitamin. Let's go, if you're at home, go to Google and type in online vitamin store or online vitamin stores. And just, pick one. And if you guys have an online store, anybody already have one. Now, I'm not talking about what I have, because what I have is it's a website that you can purchase items from. And we all have different ones that what's the word I'm looking for? Purchase stuff. Antonio Brown, Kumbaya. Is that an online store, Brother Travis? He said Antonio Brown, something like that, Kumba something. So everybody has, a lot of people have a online presence. And a lot of people, what they do is they will buy similar to Amazon. It's like having your own Amazon store. And you can go to Amazon and purchase items or different products. Well, it's a little different from a website, but a website like mine has a lot of other, I'm going to use the word, distraction. So a Spotify, for example, or like an online vitamin store, you go there and you're just getting vitamins. And some people sell multiple products. So you can do the same thing. So what I'm saying, all I'm simply saying is that moving forward, one of the things that I'm doing that's a lot more lucrative and a lot easier, because I've already developed a lot of products that I can put on my online store for people to come and purchase. So I've been doing it by simply, like I just did 5 minutes before today's show. if you go on my Facebook page, I also shared it on my Facebook page. So what I'm doing is I'm going back to old products that I did 20 years ago, 5 years ago. And I just did, if you guys remember, I did an audio book entitled The Prince of the Power of the Air. And I use the word air, H-E-I-R, and then the word air, A-I-R. Now, I just posted that one like right now. I posted one last night about, and if you guys remember, I did a book or a series not only on biological photons and phonons, I also did a PDF, and I also did an audio. So I put those two together. This was all part of 2020 Total Awareness, where I did that 33 times. So there's 33 PDF versions. Some PDF documents is somebody else's PDF document, like I just did, and I share it with you guys. I did not write the book, The Ultimate Secret to Being Rich. The Ultimate Secret, the Science of Getting Rich. I wrote the book, The Ultimate Secret to Being Rich, but I didn't write the book, The Science of Getting Rich. But I'm making money off of it because I posted it on YouTube. And there's 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, they never heard of it. That book was written in 1910. And I'm getting paid. But I'm giving that book as a freebie when they buy my book. I'm getting paid. This is my new sales model. What is that? I took my fruit and I multiplied it. That's the shit I'm talking about, man. It is not rocket science. I am not a guru. I'm smart, but I ain't no damn guru. I'm in the role of the governor. I govern. Remember we talked about Module 1. All Module 1 was about peaceful production. That's it. Using your instinctive power. That's how we communicate with Source. So we're not going to go through all of Module 1, all of Module 2. All I want to tell you, Module 1, peaceful production. Module 2, that is about individual multiplication. Because you are the formless one. So remember, let's go back to my example. I'm doing this real time. Last night, from this morning, I got 16,000 views. 16,000. I've 10 years on YouTube, however long it's been. I never had a video overnight, less than 6 hours, 8 hours, do 16,000 views. Of those 16,000 people that saw the video, the title of the video, Biological Light Beings. I talked about what is a biological light being. And then I offered my book that I already did. And I did that in 2020, Total Awareness, if I remember correctly. And now I'm getting paid off of it. Before that, remember what we're talking about was the purpose of Module 1 and Module 2. Fruit. Module 1, you're supposed to produce some fruit. You can't produce fruit unless you govern yourself. So Module 1, govern yourself, bam, you produce a product. Module 2, rule over yourself so that way you can multiply the fruit that you produce by just governing your own mind, which is what the word government means. And when you govern your own way, in other words, think for your freaking self, man. I mean, not you personally, but you know. If you can think for yourself in this economy, you will make mad money. I'm talking about, it's like printing money. Because if I can get 16,000, my other video, I had 68,000 people view that video. Out of that 68,000 people video, maybe, I think I maybe have like 10, 15 sales. But that's at, that's at $199 a pop. Now, I need you to follow me. So I got a product for $199, and I got 10 sales. Again, that's $19.90. But what's my goal every day? $1,000. So I'm meeting my goal of $1,000 every day by just rebranding, not even rebranding shit. I'm just reposting at this point. And I talk for 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Because the TikTok algorithm says those are the videos that get the most views. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about Module 1, Module 2, together. Govern yourself. You're going to produce a product. Now, that product that you produce, multiply it. How? Rule over it. How do I rule over it? Well, toward the end of Module 2, after we got through all the straw man stuff and all of what the dominant culture wants you to do, you can do that. I just recommend you go higher. What does that mean? That means this is the science of getting rich. That you can operate this in the land or the sea. I operate according to the land. That just simply means that I'm rich, but I'm surrounded by poor. That means I'm high vibrational like Kibelon, but I'm surrounded by low vibrational Kibelons. So what does that mean? That my thoughts must be backed by source, not by people. Because the people are there on the low vibration to me, meaning I'm saying shit that people don't understand. So what do? That means that I go to the formalists, like we said last night. And I expect the formalists, I'm putting my thoughts into the formalists. I'm not putting my thoughts in the people. I have an abundance of thought, not an abundance of labor. So what I'm doing today, I recommend you do. Like, Sister Addie just came out with her new book. Who else? Sister Cheryl West just came out with her new book. I know Sister Diane Coleman is almost finished with her book. But who else? Brother Richie Rich. Everybody should be at Dr. Span, Dr. Jerome. They already got books. So Dr. Jerome, oh man, Dr. Jerome, you would be Dr. Jerome. You know how much money? Oh damn, I didn't think about that. Oh snap. Oh, Dr. Jerome, and Dr. Span too. She got a book on sweat. You know the people out there suffering from pre-diabetes, Dr. Span? Dr. Jerome, do you know how many people got cars? They don't know shit about their cars like me. The only I can do, Dr. Jerome, is check the oil. That's about it. That's my skills. One thing about YouTube is TikTok is an instructional platform. If you give an instruction, if Dr. Jerome did a how to change your starter, how to change your alternator, how to change your oil, how to take out a light bulb. Like if my front light goes out, how do you take the front bulb? You know, I don't know how do you go in underneath, take the. So if Dr. Jerome did a 30 to 60 second video in clips and talk fast like I do, go to my Facebook channel and watch my TikTok. You only got 60 seconds. If the video is longer than 60 seconds, it can be posted on other platforms. There's people on TikTok who are doing 3-minute videos. TikTok 9. That shit, the algorithm doesn't pick it up. If Dr. Jerome Span tonight did a video on his compassionate heart care and post his book at the end. For more information, click the link in the bio. And he puts a link in the bio to his email address or to his website. And he has his book on there for $19.95. Dr. Jerome will be selling his book like hotcakes. And but what did he do? He already got the fruit. He got the book already. It's done. He got fruit. Now you got to multiply that damn fruit by ruling over his brain. His brain, remember, your brain, God, will tell you if you do what we said yesterday. What do we say? Infinite wisdom guide me. That's God's source code. You got to say infinite wisdom. You can say anything you want. You can say monkey, squirrel, holy monkey. You can say round rock. I don't just put a name out there, bro. You can say formless stuff. You can say blank. Guide me. Just beware when you make it too vague, you're gonna draw a lot of unbenevolent spirits. So infinite wisdom, that leaves out a lot of non-benevolent entities. And then when you say divine love prospers me, so my prosperity doesn't come from people. Divine love inspires people, and people pay me. So I go directly to source. And source going to make you pay me. You may not even like me. Say, damn, I don't even like that little short black mother beep. But damn, I just feel the urge. That's the divine love of God overriding your brain and say, go to Doc's page. Go and cash out them that money. You may not even like me. So I don't put my keys to my happiness in your pocket. I know you fickle. I mean, not you personally, but, people you know. So I go over your head. Bruh, I go over your head. Sis, you should do the same. So to be fruitful and to be multiplied is, now that's just one platform. You know how many platforms are out there? I told you about the new black-owned. I didn't know there was a black-owned Facebook, basically. It's called Fan Base. You know the social media platforms? Man, there's so many. I just, I would have to hire somebody to just repost my stuff and their stuff. Anybody looking for a job? You know how much time I could rebrand or post that could be an 8-hour job, just posting the stuff that I'm posting on one platform. Probably be a millionaire in a month. You would too. There's the one little girl I told you guys that made $3 million. $3 million. What did she do? Exactly what I'm getting ready to do. And I just got to figure out, because I just got the idea like right before the show. What's the idea? I got 100 books. I got over 2,000 1-hour series 2, 7-hour series 2. I remember the Gamma Brainwave Manifestation series. How long was that? That was 30 days. So if I take somebody like Sister Veronica Smith, if I take somebody like Reverend Cheryl West, Reverend Cheryl, yeah, we make sure Reverend Cheryl West today, and the real Reverend Cheryl. So Reverend Cheryl is what we call a living library. So Reverend Cheryl and Cheryl West and Dr. Arlene Spann and Dr. Jerome Spann and the Puerto Rican goddess, Sister Addie, and who else? Oh, Traveling Travis. Oh, damn, I forgot about Traveling Travis. So if Traveling Travis, hopefully Brother Travis has some old videos for when he went to Brazil. Damn! Travis, if you don't want to do it, brother, send me the videos. I'll do it. I'll split the money with you 50-50. If y'all don't want to do this, y'all just make the videos. I'll do it, and I'll split it 50-50. Dr. Jerome, if you don't want to do it, bro, just tell the wife to put the camera up, film you working, and just send me. I'll edit the video. Just put a video on. Just film 30 seconds or something, and I'm gonna look at it and see what you're doing, and then I'm gonna do a video on how to do whatever you're doing. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna say, please click the link in my bio or go to my website to purchase $19.95 ebook, $49.95 ebook. You can do a book for each. How many parts are there on a car, Dr. Jerome? I mean, I don't know. Like, how many parts? What things can go wrong in a car engine? Then we could talk about each. How many models are there, Dr. Jerome? Like, how many manufacturers? I know there's Ford, there's Mercury, there's Chevy, I don't know how many. So you can do every freaking make and model of vehicle because they're all different, I think. So the way you change it, so for example, is a starter in the Ford, is it located in the same place as a starter in a Chevy? Now, I got a Chevy Camaro. So, Dr. Jerome, can I open my Chevy Camaro and find the starter and take it out? And if my wife has a Lincoln Mercury. So is it in the same place? Probably not. So that's a separate video and a separate book and separate money. Now, I just did this as a test. And I told you guys, remember? So I made $1,000 in one day on a $4.99 audio show that's actually free because it's on my YouTube channel. And I made $1,000. So what am I saying? What's the hope? Now remember, this is the why. I did not do module 1 and talk 21 hours. And I did not do module 2 and talk another 20. That's 42 hours. Y'all know each show I do way over an hour, right? So that means my little black ass been talking for a lot more than 42 hours. I didn't do all that talking just for you guys to get some metaphysical gnosis. No, I did all that talking so you can be metaphysical billionaires. And then that metaphysical billionaire, you will come out and be a physical millionaire. So I don't want you to go out and do no more labor. as we talked about yesterday, if I see Sister Cheryl West working overtime at her job, I'm going to be pissed off. If I talk to Sister Addie next week and Sister Addie tell me she's working overtime at her job to pay her rent, I'm going to be pissed off at Sister Addie. Because I know Sister Addie ain't listening to what I'm saying. Why? Because Sister Addie can take one chapter out of her book, Quiet Storm. You know how many little girls out there right now, they are gender. Sister Addie, could you explain to me why do young girls, now I kind of know because I saw a video where the elementary school teacher was teaching the little girls how to be lesbians. And all of the little girls in her class, 25 girls in her class, all 25, went home and told their mama that they were lesbians. Because the elementary school teacher asked the little girls, Susie, do you like Jennifer? Because she saw him playing on the playground. Susie, the little girl says, of course, yes, Jennifer's my best friend. Susie, if you like Jennifer, that means you are a lesbian. What? They said in first grade, girls and boys this. Somebody should have something out to let people know, not only parents, but also the little girls. Because guess who's on TikTok? You know how many hours my 15-year-old daughter, Janiyah, spends on TikTok and social media? I can answer that for you. Answer, plethora. So let me go back again because I need you to understand. I just saw J Money on TikTok. J Money was being J Money. J Money said in his TikTok video, J Money's playing his guitar. And J Money said that he was a cross between, who was it, J Money? Prince and Rick James? Was it Rick James? I think he said Rick James, if I'm not mistaken. Right, J Money? Now, J Money should, off that TikTok video, tomorrow morning when J Money wakes up, he should have a minimum of $1,000 in his PayPal account or a Stripe account or a Cash App. Why? J Money, I just watched his TikTok video right before I started the show. I don't know why Sister Cheryl West is not doing this. I don't know why Sister Addie's not doing this. I don't know why. Now, remember, Reverend Cheryl, she's a reverend. That means Reverend Cheryl, she has friends like I do who are in Jesus Christ and Him crucified only. She can start all of her videos off just with that. Even if she don't challenge it, she just explains Hebrews 6:1. I've never heard a Christian explain it. I've never heard no other Christian talk about that verse except for me. Ever. I've never heard. If Reverend Cheryl is still a reverend, J Money, let's go back to J Money. Remember, we're still talking about Sister Addie. We're still talking about Sister Cheryl West. We're still talking about Brother Travis Brother Travis, how many countries you went to, Brother Travis? Do you remember? I don't even know if you remember. How many places have you been? I think you've been to Dubai too, right? Right, Brother Travis? You got any videos? Any pictures? So, but okay, J Money says yes, Prince and Rick James. So J Money, that was powerful, bro. I mean, I was like, damn. I didn't know you had skills like J Money. I'm gonna be honest with you, J Money. I was kind of like, this nigga can't play no damn guitar. Look at it. He up here looking like. I was laughing at J Money. I owe you an apology, bro. I owe you an apology, J Money. I didn't know you could sing like that, man. J Money got skills, y'all. Y'all got to check him out. I got one problem though. J Money did not make a offer or did not ask for the sale on the conclusion. Like when he got to 55 seconds of his video, because remember, any video over 1 minute, it kicks you out of the money making algorithm because it can't be shared on other mediums. So you got to keep the video. That's why I talk fast in those TikTok videos, because everybody else who's making money, that's what they do. Everybody who does in 3, you stay on the platform, but you don't make no money. So if J Money said, while playing, when he got to about 45 seconds of this video, he's doing J Money's playing. And he should look up at the camera. Anybody interested? And he says, keep jamming, learning how to play the guitar like me. Check the link in my bio. That's all they got to say. They go to his bio. They click that little link. They click the link where J Money put it at, takes them to his email. And it's like how to play the guitar in 30 days. 3 steps to play the guitar. Whatever J Money put on that mother, guess what's going to happen? Remember, I had 60,000 on the video I did last night. From last night to this morning, 60,000 views. Out of that 16,000, I got 6 people to pay me $199. That's all I need. That's all come on, preacher, stop playing. Y'all better stop playing. This ain't a game. So, Traveling Travis says he's been to 6 countries. 6. So, Dr. Jerome said that there's many parts and many models, like I thought. So what works on a Mercedes ain't going to work on my Corvette. In other words, how you tune up a Mercedes is probably different from tuning up a Corvette. Now, it's similar, but you cannot learn. The starter is not located in the same spot on every car in the world. So Dr. Jerome knows how to take out a starter and put a new starter in. He knows how to take out a radiator and put a new radiator in. He knows how to take out an alternator and put it in. He knows how to change spark plugs. He knows how to take the timing. He knows how to put in a timing belt, take out a timing belt, I'm assuming. He got a whole book called Compassionate Car Care. Every woman on the planet should have Dr. Jerome Fan's book. Everybody who want to learn how to play, J Money, was that a bass guitar you was playing? Was that a 4 strings? Was it 6 strings? Well, what type of a guitar was that? And J Money, can you play a bass guitar the same way you play? First of all, how many types of guitars are there? What if J Money, like, I don't know nothing about a guitar, but I would like to play. Can you teach me how to play a guitar, J Money? How hard is it to learn? I mean, those are all questions that J Money could be answering in this video. He should start out by and he's playing. And then while he's playing, he should talk and tell people. I know that some of y'all think it's hard to play a guitar. I learned how to play a guitar. J Money, are you self-taught? What did you? Whose school of guitar playing did you go to? And if you went to, so J Money has a 6-string guitar, and did you go to school to learn how to play? You probably taught most guitar players I know. I had a best friend growing up. He played the bass, and I remember and they only had 4 strings. He tried to teach me how to play it. I couldn't get my hands. That was on top of the rung of screens, So he taught me how to play chords. So J Money, do you know how to play chords on the? So I kind of forgot. So let's go back to Sister Addie. So all these little girls that's learning how. Remember, what are we talking about? Module 1. You're supposed to self-government so you can produce fruit. Y'all are governing yourself, but you ain't producing no fruit. Do I know, J Money? Do you got any fruit from your self-government? So the Addie got fruit because I got a copy of it. It's called Quiet Storm. That means Sister Addie can teach all the little girls. Today, I should have posted on Facebook. Matter of fact, I think I got to post it on Facebook. Today, I was babysitting my 3 granddaughters for my oldest son. He joined the Navy. Now he's in boot camp. And so I'm kind of helping in with my son's wife. What would that make her? That would make me her father-in-law? Anywho, so I had the girls. Man, girls can talk. One of the girls is like my granddaughter, Titi, is getting to that age where she could talk to somebody like Sister Addie. Because she is like, my son's wife is El Salvadoran, so they speak Spanish. And as you know, my son is Irish and black. So we got El Salvadoran, Irish, and black. So they was raised primarily in a Hispanic/El Salvadoran culture, mostly. Because my son, her mom and grandmom are very in the Hispanic culture. I mean, I don't know too much about the Hispanic culture, but I think it's really important. They put a lot of emphasis on they learning their language and their culture, but it's not black. So I don't know too much about it, but I know Sister Addie speaks Spanish. I'm sure like there's other people do too. So they speak to me and they say "Papa" and they start speaking Spanish. So I don't know, like Sister Addie, I think you speak Spanish, right, Sister Addie? And if you do speak Spanish, Sister Addie, is there a difference between Puerto Rican Spanish, El Salvadoran Spanish, Portugal Spanish, Brazilian Spanish, Mexico Spanish? How many types of Spanish is there? There are little nuances because we speak Tex-Mex. Especially when I had to learn, especially when I was in prison. I taught a lot more Spanish. So all of those are videos that Sister Addie can be doing. So like there's all of these are videos that Jay, when I say video, I mean, you just go on TikTok and your person, Jay Money plays guitar anyway. Might as well get paid. Sister Addie, when she's around her family, she speaks Spanish anyway. Might as well get paid. Sister Addie wrote a book, How to Peacefully Silence the Raging Thoughts in the Brain. And as a young woman growing up, my granddaughters have to learn, especially my granddaughters that have that psychic intuition, how to silence or turn it off when you don't need it. So, and all young girls who are being bombarded with, you are a lesbian because you are very girly, or you are lesbian because you are a tomboy. Just because you're a tomboy doesn't mean that you're a lesbian. Now, maybe you got it, so then that's a whole other study for another time. But the point of tonight's message is everybody that's part of the People Development Center, I am doing this so that way you can develop yourself. What does that mean? You cannot be no one else, so be yourself. Be honest, be natural. So, J Money, J Money has a different occupation than playing a guitar. So, J Money, why aren't you a member of a band following your dream as a guitar player? Or do you not see or want? First of all, I guess the first question should be, do you like playing the guitar? Seems like you do. Then you was having fun with the video that I watched. So the Cheryl West says that yes, the dialect's different. So it's kind of like I thought. Spanish in Texas is probably different from Spanish in Portugal. So there's a lot of different dialects. And so talking and sharing about those different dialects assists everybody understanding the different dialects, or people like me who don't know none of the dialects. It makes us aware. Because as I'm finding out now, people from El Salvador, they don't speak the same Spanish as people in Texas, San Antonio, Texas. Because I had a Spanish speaker who couldn't understand the Spanish that somebody from El Salvador was speaking. At least not all of it. I found out that today. I should have been knowing it, I guess. But I just found out that all of these little things that we think may not be important are very important. And that's how you monetize, because you talk about that in the video. And people become aware of it. Then they become aware of it. They start asking questions about it. And you answer the questions. That's how you get paid. So Brother Travis said he's been to 6 different countries. Brother Travis knows all of us. I know one of the places I remember talking to Brother Travis about going to Brazil. So Brother Travis went to, hopefully he got some pictures and videos. So what if he put those pictures and videos on YouTube? TikTok. Talk fast like me, good 60 seconds. More information on setting up either travel to Brazil, because when Brother Travis got there, Brother Travis, you still got any contacts over there? What about any of the other places? If he went to 6 different places, if he got contacts over there, that's good. If it was bad when he went, that's good. Because if you go to Brazil, don't go here. If you go to Brazil, okay, do go here. And for more information about how to travel to Brazil, then Brother Travis, if he's not a traveling agent, which he should be, but if he ain't, he can hook up somebody who is a traveling agent. Now, I know that Brother Travis is in the health field. Well, one thing I know, I don't know if he still is, but I know Brother Travis used to be a traveling nurse. So, Brother Travis, as a traveling nurse, how many places, how many hospitals did you work in? Because right now, Brother Travis, I don't know if you noticed, there's something going on in the country right now, Brother Travis. There's some issues in the health, meaning some people say this about the death jab, some people say this. You work in the industry, like you're not reading about it, Brother Travis, like everybody else. You go up, you put on, like what do you do when you go to work? Do you got to wear a mask? Do they require you? I mean, I'm curious. I would like to know. So if you go on YouTube or TikTok and talk about, you got to say where you work. You ain't going to say that you work. All you got to say is that in my past experiences, I didn't read this in the book. Like I do in all my, see, I'm authentic. So people listen to me because they know I know what I'm talking about because I didn't read it. So when I see Brother Jasper playing a guitar, I know he knows how to play. Now, maybe he don't like it. Then that's okay. Then none of this stuff applies. If Brother Jasper doesn't like playing a guitar, my next question is, why you on TikTok playing a guitar? Why? That means you ain't being yourself. So maybe he's on TikTok playing a guitar to try to get some digits. I don't know. So if I see Sister Addie, and she makes a TikTok video about something that has nothing to do with none of her numbers and none of the stuff that's inside of her book, I'm going to ask Sister Addie, why you on TikTok? Like some people are on Facebook, and I can't figure out why. None of their posts are relevant. None of there is no, I can't find no continuity. One day they're talking about monkeys, the next day they're talking about squirrels, then they talk about rabbits, then they're talking about, albino tigers, then they're talking about, so I'm like, well, I can't figure that person out. So they're not being authentic. That means that their thoughts are not creating form. That means they do not have an abundance of thought to. They have an abundance of thought to. They got too many thoughts. So module number 1 and module number 2 is to help you govern yourself. Remember what govern means, to put a thought in the brain that is so powerful it engraves. That means it creates what is called biologically a neural net. So Elon Musk can't put Neuralink in your brain. The dominant culture cannot use the SSSF. Nobody can pipe a thought into your head. There's no room. Your neurons, this is called, so a neurologist understands, if you were to go to the Neurological Institute and they talk about being neurotic, or they talk about neuroticism. Neuroticism is a disposition, usually negative, of an emotional, I'm going to use that word to say, well, somebody is neurotic. What are they? That means that they have thought a thought so long, it has created a feeling so powerful that it severely inhibits the individual's ability to function. They are a menace to society. So if I can create a mental disease, I can also create a mental ease. Yeah, but stop playing. I didn't read this in the book. In psychology, neuroticism is considered a personality trait. It means that you had a temperament that became permanent. And now it is considered a mental disposition. Now, if you can do that negatively, this is called neuromodulation. So as a neuropsychologist, I over and understand what they call the Big Five in neuropsychology. And it's amazing because the Big Five are they're negative. What if you can make a Big Five that is positive? That's all I did. So all I did is I created what is called a neurological network in the brain. I better stop playing. This is the science behind neurological psychology, which I spent years over the understanding. So neuromodulation is the ability to modulate your life by each individual neuron that looks like a little person, and you got a group of them together. Now, if you go to the American Academy of Neurological or Neurology, it is considered a branch of medicine. So neurology, like in all my books, in my books, I've written 3 books on neurology. Because I need you to understand that you are a neurological being. You're a biological being. But it's controlled by theological thoughts that comes from a cosmological understanding. So that's how, again, you establish an abundance of thought instead of having an abundance of labor. So now that I got an abundance of thought, that creates a neurological network. I'm just understanding what's happening to you. Now, you've done it to you. Now you have neurological disorders. You got a neurological disease. Now I want you to change that neurological disorder into a neurological order. Now I'm going to get you to change that neurological disease into a neurological ease. I want you to take your neurological system, and now you got a neurological modulation. So now my neurons work for me. They don't work against me. So I cannot not be wealthy. I cannot not be healthy. I cannot not be wise. I cannot not get my toes curled. Because I've created a neurological network. And this neurological network has created a neuron network algorithm. So now, dominant culture is coming up with an artificial neuron network. So they want to use AI to create a biological neuron network that is constituted of artificial neurons called ANN. Don't tell nobody I told you. ANN, artificial neuron network. It's a whole system. It ain't rolled out yet. Your boy Bill Gates and Elon Musk with Neuralink, they are going to replace, or they want to connect self-assembling nanobots, just like in the movie Bloodspot, so that way your brain uses ANN, artificial neuron network, ANN. They want to put ANN in your brain to construct, because they know there's niggas like me out here that I don't use an algorithm. I am an algorithm. I all go to my rhythm. All my neurons, they go to my rhythm. So they cannot control my neurons, because they know that I know that my neurons, they control my blood vessels and all of my what's called effector tissues. So I understand the neurological game. So I've established my own neurological network. And my neurons, they all come together, and they all are on the same. Now I have a neural net, and my neural net is off the hizzle for shizzle my nizzle. This is called neuropathy. Now, if you could understand neuropathy, and if you could establish your own neuron or your own neural network, do you know what happens to the brain when you do that? When you start building your own neural network, oh man, woo! When you start building your own neural net, now you have what is called interconnectivity nodes. See, the neurons in your brain, they speak formless. They speak the language of formless, what we call source code, God. Now, I got to give you the smoking gun so that we can understand this is how, because remember, we're talking about creating an abundance of thought that impresses an image into the tissue, the white tissue of the brain, that replaces all of the emotional drain. You lose no energy because energy cannot be destroyed or created. It can only be drained. So you can't be and do what I can be and do because you don't have the chi. Not you personally, but people you know. So what do you mean? Now that's the book, The Science of Being Rich. So the Science of Being Rich, it says, let me go back to the book and read it. It says you must get rid of the old vestige. I'm on page 21 of the book. You must get rid of the old, or you must get rid of the last vestige of the old ideal that there is a deity whose will it is that you should be poor, or whose purpose or purposes may be served by keeping you poor. So he goes on and explains that you have a mental disease. That mental disease is there's such a thing as capitalism. The mental disease is there's such a thing as lack. There's a mental disease, there's something as creating a problem and offering a solution. The disease is problem. Because a problem means that there's a lack of, there's somebody that don't have formless intelligence. If you have formless intelligence, that means that you are consciously aware that there is no such thing as lack. So someone has to get you to believe that there is by getting you to create a negative habit pattern or what is called an energy imprint in your brain. So the moment that you create a relationship to and with a set of data that mimics source, it has the ability to replace source. Cheryl West says poverty is a mental disease. Absolutely. And so once we over and understand that the way that I think is the disease, because remember we broke this down, thinking process or thinking works by abundance. It's either an abundance of negativity or there's an interconnection with the neurons that creates an abundance of positivity. So your job and my job is to create a neurons or get our neurons to fire together. This is called neurotransmission or neuron firing. So the neurons fire what is called action potential. We call that a nerve impulse. So your nerves, they call each other. And once the nerves reach a certain threshold, that is called a neuron action potential. It creates an impulse. That neuron action potential is what source calls an image. Source only responds to that. You get what you image, which is number 3 that we talked about yesterday. When you do number 2, it controls you. So all I did was create a neurological network that replaced my negative habit pattern that was impressed upon my brain when I was a child. So now I have a new, remember, you cannot destroy energy. You can only replace it with something that is more powerful. So depending on how powerful your negative habit pattern was, that determines how powerful your current habit patterns must be. For some people, quitting smoking is easy. because they didn't do it that long, so they don't have that level of what is called neuron modularization. Your neurons didn't vibrate on that level that long. But if, like me, if you experience traumatic trauma or childhood trauma or any type of drama or trauma, whether it be in your childhood or it could be in a bad marriage. What if you was in a bad marriage for 20 years and let's say somebody beat you? Hopefully that's nobody's case, but let's say somebody physically put their hands on you. You know what kind of a nerve modularization? You know what kind of nervous, what kind of neurotic? Because remember, the word neurotic is just what we call, anxiety, fear. All of that creates OCD and all of the other quote-unquote mental diseases. A mental disease is a neuron modularization that created what source calls a pixel or a graven image. That means an image has been engraved in your brain. So that image is like a highway. It's like if you walk down a path every day for 20 years, no grass is going to grow. Y'all all seen those paths going out to. Remember, if you grew up in the country, you can walk through a wooded area, grass everywhere, and there's a trail. Because everybody walks that trail, and it beats down the grass, and it creates what is called, again, that's called neuromodulation. Well, the same thing happens in the brain, neuromodulation. So you have to have an abundance of money, you must have an abundance of thought. So to have an abundance of health, you got to have an abundance of thought. To have an abundance of wisdom, you got to have an abundance of thought. To have an abundance of good relationships, you got to have an abundance of thought. So the only thing that's missing is the abundance of thought. Because we have an abundance of labor, but we don't have an abundance of thought. Because every time we want to do something, we get up and we move with our hands. We don't move our neurons. So we got to get abundance of neural net. Our neurons that fire together, wire together. So the only thing that's missing is how your neurons communicate with one another. Because each neuron has what is called a sodium channel that's inside of what is called the cell membrane. And whenever the positive sodium cells surges, that's why you got to have sodium and potassium. It sends an electrical response. And this sodium surge, is what they call it in science, which simply means that's your action potential. So you're sending out an electrical signal down the axon that's filled with what they call sodium, and it connects to something called potassium, and that creates what is called a transmission. So your action potential fires, and that creates what we call nervousness. So you have calm, depending on what type of intensity is carried down the nerve fiber and transferred to the next cell. That signal is either weakened or strengthened based upon the imprint, the image, based upon the thought abundance or the lack thereof. So the only thing that you have to do today, which is the whole point of Module 1 and Module 2, self-govern your mind. Do not, like I tell you guys, I do not have the luxury of maintaining a negative thought. I say I don't have the luxury of having them because I don't. That's the more extreme. What does that mean? I'm just like you. I have bad thoughts. I just don't maintain them. Why? I don't want to manifest them. Why would I? That's the whole point. The whole point of Module 1, govern your own brain so you can produce fruit. Module 2, take that fruit and rule over it so that way you can multiply it. So let's close. Once again, how do you rule over your fruit? Let me give you a real life example. I have fruit. What is my fruit? I have 100 books. That's fruit. I had close to 5,000 videos and audios on my Replacing Error with Truth YouTube channel. They deleted it. So that's fruit, poof, gone. So I can't multiply that fruit. But thankfully, I still got it in my brain. But I also got close to 5,000 audios and videos on my Blog Talk channel that I haven't used in 3, 4, 5 years. That's fruit. Now the question is, Doc, What are you going to do with all of those topics, all those shows you did on your Blog Talk channel? They're just sitting there. What are you going to do with it? Same thing I'm telling you, same thing that we've been talking about. That when I went through and I tell you that what J Money should do with all his fruit. Same thing I tell you about what Sister Addie should do with her fruit. What should Brother Travis do with his fruit? What should Dr. Jerome Spann? What should Dr. Arlene Spann? So Dr. Arlene Spann, like me, was in the health and fitness industry. And more importantly, Dr. Arlene Spann overcame some, I'm going to use the word, dis-ease. And then she wrote a book called Sweat. So that's fruit. Because why? It's the result. Module 1, peaceful production. So that peaceful product that was produced, that's called fruit. Now we multiply the fruit, not the labor. Module 2, everybody from tonight forward, you should stop working. Now, I didn't say stop creating. That's different. So what does that mean? Every living organism on this planet must seek enlargement. Let me say it again. This is extremely important. Because something, I don't know, I'm seeing a lot of videos and gurus out there who's telling people seeking enlargement is wrong. What is seeking enlargement? It's called the increase of the self. What is increase of the self? That's evolving. That means growth. That means you're learning. If you doing the same shit tomorrow that you did today, you are an LOD. Not you personally, because that means little lost dummy. I already been there, done that, got 2 T-shirts. I did the same shit from the age of 20 to the age of 50. They don't make them more low vibrational than me. If I go outside right now and put a seed in the ground, what happens to it? It springs forth. There's weeds. Anybody seen a weed seed? I've never been to Costco, Walmart, Lowe's, Sam's, and saw a bag of weed seeds. But yet, they grow in everybody's backyard. Did anybody plant weeds in your lawn? Anybody. I don't know nobody who plants weeds. Everybody plants grass. Who's planting all the weeds that's growing in everybody's grass and everybody's precious lawn? You go to a golf course, they got to spray, they got to do all this stuff to keep the weed out. Why? Because weeds, just like seeds, they have a built-in program of expansion, multiplication. Everything on this freaking planet multiplies till they get to a point where it dies or decays and it comes back and do the same shit again. That's the rule. Continuous increase. Every thought we think should make it necessary for you to think another thought. This should be continuous conscious expansion. There is a movement, especially in conscious people, that is wrong. That is Lucifer. Because Lucifer is the god of don't do shit. It's going to happen. It's going to fall out of the sky. Anything that doesn't vibrate on this dimension decays. Now, we're talking about this dimension. When you get out of this dimension, whole another set of rules, whole another set of laws. But while you are in a body, you're supposed to be moving sourceward, Godward. You're supposed to be moving forward. That's why you got, again, your forward lobe or your frontal lobe. Everybody should cultivate their destiny or their dear career. Everybody should express, expose, expand. There are people, and some of you guys are on this call, you believe that you should, I don't think that's right, Doc. I mean, this is, brothers, sisters, I'm asking y'all to do some self-checking. Please, I'm begging you. We cannot go into Module 3 because you ain't got shit to control. Let me make sure. We're going to Module 3. And Module 3 is based upon you govern your brain so that way you produce the book, some kind of fruit. And that product, service, information, now you are able to multiply it because you understand the rules that govern everything. And the rule that govern everything in the game of life is everything expands. There is a certain law by which everything expands. So module 3, we now are replenishing by exercising control over the fruit that we have multiplied, that we're going to replenish. So the fact that you are multiplying, now you can replenish. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead, but I need you to understand, because the question you should be asking yourself, when we say replenish, look at the word replenish, you're going to see the word re and the word plan. Ish. Now, source code, the little g has a plan and the big G has a plan. So now what we are doing is it means to fill anew or again. So we dropped. When we get to module 3, this is the expansion mode. So that way we can subdue and domain or go back to having dominion. Each module is about expansion. It means to make full and complete again. Meaning you used to be, but something happened to you. What happened to you? You brought the dominant culture's belief, which is you're supposed to work instead of create. So in order for you to know more, have more, do more, because people associate more with money. People don't associate more with thought. People associate more with stuff. People don't associate more with consciousness. People who attack me think because I drive around in a convertible Corvette and I'm looking, oh, and by the way, I remember I told you guys the house I've been on? Well, somebody else, again, we got shot down. So we found a bunch of houses that meet everything that we're looking and asking about or looking for. Some, again, we looked at new build. Because you get the lot, start from ground up, take about, 6 to 9 months, you move in. Then we found some houses that the new builder was building in another neighborhood that were new build, but they would only build them to a certain point, and then they kind of let it sit there to see if anybody's going to buy them. So that way you could finish it out and you can pick out the bricks, the drapes, carpet, pick out everything. Only thing there is the slab and the wooden frame. So we went through a bunch of those. Bam, found one today. Why? No bidding. Meaning, the last house bill I told you guys about, everything was great, everything was good. I bid $25,000 over the asking price. Somebody else bid it, and the bid that they took, $50,000 over the asking price. $50K. And remember, when you buy a house that's more than the appraised value, you got to pay that in cash. Or you got to come out of your own pocket. The bank will only finance the house for its replacement cost, meaning the value. If the house burned down, how much it costs to replace it? The bank ain't going to give you more than that. So the cost to replace the house that this is crazy. I mean, every house for the last year that we've done that, that's what happened. We got outbidded. Somebody said, I know the house is worth, at the last house was worth $800,000. We bid it like $825. Somebody came in and with $850 cash. Same thing happened to this other house. So now we're just gonna either build from the ground up. Why? We go out, we pick the land. We already like the builder. I've been looking at the builder for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Build nice houses. What is the point? What is the point? What is the point? That's control, replenish, multiply, rule, and govern fruit. There is always more than one way to skin a cat. We looked at many different ways, and let's say, hey, remember, I am married to the role, not the goal. So I'm doing the same role. Even if I build this house, I'm going to do the same process to make $1 million. I do the same process to lose or gain weight. I do the same process whenever I need to improve, my relationships. What is that process? This is the end game. This is why we're doing everything that we're doing. There is always more. God's hands ain't short. There's always someone who wants to sell what you want to buy. Or there's always a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is an A. Meaning, there is no shortage. There is no lack. There is no fear. There is no doubt. There is no unbelief. There is none of the shit that's being sold to you by the dominant culture. They telling you, you don't take the jab, you're going to die. Negro, you got an immune system. Even if your immune system is compromised, the cells regenerate and replace themselves. You just got to know how to regenerate your cells and replace them. Now, we can go with the dominant. The dominant culture will always tell you doom and gloom. Now, let me make sure y'all understand, because sometimes, some things are out of your, I'm going to use the word domain. Because remember, you can't be nobody else. I would rather have my 19-year-old daughter, Shamora, here. I am not a 19-year-old female. So I can't be somebody else. Stop trying. But will. Stop trying everybody else. Remember, if something is not happening in your life, it's because it ain't in your life. It ain't meant to be there. If you took Halle Berry on a date, y'all had a good time, the next day she says, hey, I appreciate you, but I'm out. You crying and begging, you sending her roses, flowers. You doing everything to get Halle Berry back. You can't be Halle Berry. She got her own life, her own brain. You can't control other people. That's what I'm saying. Stay in your lane. Be and do you. Your job is to be authentic. In order for you to know more, do more, be more, have more, learn more, see more, use more, you must have an abundance of more. Nobody teaches that. Why? That's evil. I don't know nobody who's telling you that your capacity for a larger life, your capacity for fulfillment, to be happy, to be wealthy, to have joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control, to live the life of your dreams, to have your cake and eat it too. People say you can't. You can't have your cake and eat it too. My grandmother used to tell me that, boy, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, I mean, it's a matter of good or bad news, depending on how you look at it. And that is, life is all about seeking fuller expression. That ain't got shit to do with stuff. It has to do with meaning. Stop pursuing stuff. Start pursuing meaning. My life permeates with meaning. And every day I have a deeper desire, design, and understanding and overstanding and understanding of the meaning of the universe. The meaning. Everything has a meaning. See, brothers and sisters, your purpose is to harmonize with God's purpose. Damn, that should have preached right there. It ain't about, lust and gratification and buying cars and houses, and that is just a physical expression of a mental disposition. Your purpose is to harmonize with Source. The formless ether. It is all. Your job is to harmonize with all. Now, I don't know if you know the definition of all, because people told you, boo-boo, it's okay. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Now, I'm just a country boy from Texas. The word all means the whole of one's energy or interest. Again, this is how we down here in the South. I don't know how y'all do it up in the East Coast. I don't know. Like Sister Diane, she's in the West Coast. I don't know what they do in Cali. All I know down here in Texas, The whole, all means the whole. It means all. It doesn't mean that, but no, not that. It means the whole of one's own energy and interest. It's personal. It's your energy, not mine. And if you can wrap your brain around that, brothers and sisters, you are guaranteed to shine. That is the whole purpose of Module 1 and Module 2. That is what I call the end game. So that's what you start with. Tomorrow, and I know technology, blah, blah, blah. This week is TikTok. Next week, so they come up with something else. Because remember, it started off, it was freaking MySpace. It changed. So we got to change with it. All I'm simply saying, as we close, you got to govern yourself. When you do that, you will automatically express yourself. That's called fruit. If you take however you express yourself, like we said, Brother Jasper chose to express himself by playing a guitar. Sister Addie chose to express herself by writing a book. Sister Cheryl West chose to express herself by writing a book. Dr. Jerome Spann chose to express himself by writing a book and developing a career as basically a traveling, mobile mechanic. He chose that expression. I ain't telling him to do it. To my knowledge, nobody's putting a gun to his head and tell yo, nigga, get your ass up and go out there and check them cars. I don't think nobody's doing it to Dr. Jerome. Knowing Dr. Jerome, I don't think that'll work. Yeah, I think Dr. Jerome is comfortable in his own skin. I think he do what he likes to do. I don't see nobody bullying or punking Dr. Jerome. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I know Dr. Jerome Spann chose to be a mobile mechanic. Now, I don't know why he chose to be a mobile mechanic, but for some reason, Dr. Jerome chose to express, expose, and expand himself as a mobile mechanic, and he a damn good one. Why? Because he came to my house, and fixed my wife's car when we stranded on the side of the road. That was going to cost me $1,000. Saved me a lot of money, too. So all I know is that is a gift. Because I could not do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gave him, I wouldn't have asked him to do it. I did it myself. And all I know is the same gift that Dr. Jerome got, you got, but it's different. Sister Addie's gift ain't the same as Dr. Jerome. Dr. Jerome is not gift, is not the same as his wife. And they married and been married for 40 plus years, I think. I think it's 40 something. Guess what? They still ain't clones of each other. That's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. How come? Well, God made them separate and different. So when you fall or elevate in love with yourself, you refuse to be anybody else. And it is that fruit. Your fruit is your natural expression. Y'all stop being fake, man. Stop doing stuff for money. Your fruit is your natural expression. That, you multiply it. How? We spent a whole 21 days explaining how. How do you multiply? Rules. There's one rule that governs everything. And that rule is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one. There is only one way for Dr. Jerome Spann to express, expose, and expand himself. That way is found inside of the month, the day, and the year that he was born. As long as he uses the one power, Dr. Jerome will always be a spiritual, peaceful leader in the area that God, source, formless, has chosen to express, expose, and expand. Dr. Jerome, like everybody, gift, he's born in January. That's why Dr. Jerome is always evoling, expanding, moving forward in a peaceful manner, because the day that he was born breaks down to the number 2. And he's a lone wolf. He's a leader. He ain't no follower. He's his own man. to Dr. Jerome, just like everybody else, is programmed. He either aligns his mind and does a neurological modularization of his neurons so that all 51.8 trillion neurons work together according to the month, the day, and the year. That takes his fruit and he multiplies it. I recommend not only for Dr. Jerome, but his wife, his cousins, aunts, uncles, children, everybody. Take that gift, put it in a place that today, the best place for it to multiply is code for monetize. That is on TikTok. TikTok is the new Instagram, Facebook. Because I'm getting 16,000 views overnight. Now, out of those 16,000, I believe Dr. Jerome can at least get 5 or 6 people to pick up a copy of his book, Compassionate Car Care, because I'm doing it every day. So if I can do it, I know he and everybody else on this call can do it. That is how you govern your own brain and you produce fruit. And you take that fruit and you rule over it with the one power so that way you can multiply. We start module 3, which is to control and replenish. But since I love you, I appreciate you. We're going to see you at the top. God bless.